So in this section, we're gonna be moving away from timeline. We would come back to the timeline, but I wanna also show you something really important. So if I just select this clip, of course it's selecting both, but if I just wanna select the audio video, I can just unpress the link and go here. So this clip, I am just pressing S to zoom in the timeline. This clip is selected. Now if you see on the right side here, there's a whole another world. So I am in the inspector tab. So you can go to metadata, what I told before, that metadata gives the information about the video type. So my video was shot in S.265, it was 422 10-bit. And you can already see that the frame rate was 23.976 frames per second. That's the same frame rate as how we have chosen the class project frame rate. And the video was filmed in 4K, you can see from here, but our timeline is in high definition. But when you export it, you can export in 4K, so that's not a problem. So that was the information about the clip. So sometimes if you're not sure, select the clip and go to metadata. You can also just select here and go to metadata. You don't have to drag them into the timeline. So whatever you select is gonna show you the information. So let's go here, and if I scroll down, then you see a little bit of information about the clip, which is not really needed. So now after the metadata, the mixer is here. I told you on the left corner. You can also leave it there or not leave it there, but mixer would come handy later. Let's click off in metadata, or let's just go to inspector. So here we have the same arrow. So if I want the inspector to be in the full length, that's there. But I prefer this overview because I also want to see the timeline. So inspector. There are some really obvious features here what you can change. Zoom, if you just go, you see the zoom, always make sure the clip is selected. You go zoom in and out. So X, you can zoom in, zoom out. Yep. And you see if I zoom out, I have this gray border. I have this gray scale. We changed it in the setting before. So if I go here to timeline setting, I chose the viewer background to the checkerboard. This is new feature in 19. Earlier it used to be black, and sometimes if my videos were like this, I wouldn't really pay attention because here it's gray, here it's black. So in some clips I couldn't see it, and then I would export it, and then I would see later that, oh no, the whole clip had a black border. So to avoid that, we have the viewer background. You can do it to checkerboard. So then you can clearly see that, okay, you need to make the clip fit to the timeline. And how am I zooming out and in this section is by just scrolling on the mouse. Yeah. And if I just zoom in all the way, and if I press command or control and then you scroll, then it just scrolls up and down. Yeah. And if I press command and shift or control and shift, and of course scroll the mouse, then it's gonna go left and right like that. So let's go back to original size. So here I'm not increasing the size of the clip. You see the size of the clip is 0.98. I'm just increasing the view. Here it's the same. I'm just increasing my view, not the zoom feature of the clip. And I zoomed out to here, if I have to restore it, I can double click on zoom, or if I have to restore all the settings back to the original settings in transform page, then I go click this reset icon. So that's how you can, select zoom in, zoom out. So say for example, I need to zoom in a little bit in this video, but then I also want to see a little bit of sky. So then I go position Y, I can change the position of the Y, I can change the position of the X. So it's quite obvious. If you want to rotate it, sometimes the clips are, not aligned good. So you can also rotate it. But the problem is that you can only rotate, if I just zoom out a little, you cannot rotate it now, because now you have this grayscale, and in the output you would have this black little thing here. You can only rotate it when the clip is a little bit zoomed in. And then anchor point is the center of the clip. So if I zoom in now, it's zooming in towards the, wait, I'll just restore it. If I zoom in now, if it's zooming in towards the center of the clip, yeah? But if I change the anchor point to this way, and now if I zoom in, then it's gonna zoom into that side because I've changed the center point of the clip. But I barely use anchor point So yeah, don't worry about it. Now we have pitch and yaw. This is really interesting. So if you want the clips to be aligned like this or like this, you can do it. It looks funny now, but in some scenario, which I'm going to show you later, pitch and yaw is really, really handy. And yaw would be, you can either, drag the value from here or drag here in between and do it like that. And the flip is, of course, you can flip the clip. So now you can see the alphabets are in reverse way, or you can flip horizontally. So that was the flip. So this is just basic things what you can change in a clip, which is really handy. And if, like, say, for example, if I did any changes in transformation, yeah, I don't want to delete them, but I don't want to see them now. So I can just disable the transform node here. The transform panel, I can just disable it. And once I've done all the changes, and if I have to put the changes on, I can just enable it here. Same thing you can do with cropping. So now there's nothing under the cropping, just click once and now you have everything. So you can crop left, crop right, top, down, however you want it. And the softness is, you see like how harsh the edges are now. If you increase the softness, then the crop is a little bit soft. And then if I have to reset the softness, I go here to reset button here. I want to reset cropping, I go reset here. And then dynamic zoom. So let's go in the beginning. Dynamic zoom is, that's where DaVinci kind of slowly zooms in an image. So you don't have to do anything. So if I just enable it, then let's see what happens.
And now let's start the most beautiful hike in Switzerland.
If you look at our bags, oh, you don't really see in this video, maybe I can show, because I was already zooming out, zooming in the image, but let's show you in this one. So here is just a static shot. I press dynamic zoom. So here it's, you see, it's sort of zooming out. This was the original clip, and this is after. You can change to linear, you can do ease in. So you see in the beginning it was not zooming out, and it's sort of eases in the video. And you can also do swap. So it's like that, and then it zooms in later. So yeah, that's what you can do with dynamic zoom. Composite. This is really interesting. For example, so if I go to master here, and if I go to extra folder, and if I go to the power bins, and if I want to drag in something, this all is included. If I want to drag something from the power bins to our project, you can just drag them to extra. Yeah. And now, so see, I didn't have to go to the computer and search in where is this effect. So it's already there in power bins, and that's the good part about power bins. We go to extra, and the film burn transition is there. The film burn is, you might have seen it, that is just a clip like this where there's crazy film burns. So what I want to do, it has different types of film burns. So you see, if I scroll through the clip, I think this is a clip for maybe 1 minute or see 28 seconds, or 33 seconds. But I maybe want from here, you see where the little flash is coming, until the flash ends. So I just did in and out. And here what I would do, because I want this to be not at the end of the clip, I want it to be here somewhere. So I would just manually drag and drop it. So let's see what happens now. So as I told before, whatever is on the top, that would be visible. So let's see. So now we have this fire effect, but now what I want to do is that I want this to be kind of blended in the video, but still visible. Now it's blocking the entire video. So that's where composite comes. So composite is like how the clip which is on top of the original clip would blend in. So now it's normal. If I go add, you have some effect. If I go color, it's like blending it with some color. If I color burn, like you can try all these effects, but the favorite and the most useful one, if you scroll all the way, is screen. And you can also change the opacity of the, if I go all the way, if I go 100, you can change the opacity of the film burn transition. Now let's look. So this is kind of a transition. So maybe what we can do, we can put it in between these two clips. So let's see how does that look.
Of hiking.
So I can see that a little bit of audio from my wife is in the way. So I can just drag this clip to here. So now we wouldn't hear the audio.
The entire week of hiking.
You see how nice it looks?
Of hiking.
So that's where composite comes in handy. Stabilization. I can show you another example of a video with stabilization. Yeah, there is a bit of shake because I have filmed it with a really long lens. So I would just press I. So yeah, and then I press U, so it comes here. And here what I'm gonna do, select the clip and then go to stabilization and just press stabilize, and DaVinci would quickly do its job and it stabilizes. So now you see, if I toggle out, then DaVinci kind of also crops in when stabilizing. Now all the jerks, what was happening, that is not there. And if I want to make it look like a tripod shot, then I can just press camera lock and see what DaVinci does. Camera lock, stabilize, so now it crops in more because now DaVinci, let me show you. You see, it almost looks like it's on a tripod. It's so cool. Like this was before. Stabilization on. But mind you, this would only work when there is not much movement. If you're shaking the camera like crazy, then the camera lock wouldn't work. So that's it. But sometimes what happens is that I can show you a better example. Let's take this clip. So I'm just taking the clip out. Let's show you different types of stabilization. So if I just stabilize it, let's see what happens. DaVinci crops in. You can also change the features here. So sometimes you can do a little bit of compromise. Sometimes if the footage is too shaky, DaVinci crops in a lot. So then you have to do a bit of compromise that you wanna choose the cropping ratio or stabilization. So you kind of find a middle ground. So I just reduce the cropping ratio and re-stabilize it. It is a little bit smooth, but you see there's this little weird jitters. Let's try to fix it with a different method. So you can also change the strength of the stabilization. So whatever you change and smooth a little bit, increase, you have to press stabilize again. It looks like if I reduce the strength, it was back to normal. So let's stabilize it again. Yeah, so it is acting a bit weird. So what I would do, if you go to here, mode, perspective, let's go to similarity. And now let's see how the stabilization is. So there are 3 options in DaVinci to stabilize your footage according to what type of footage is. So I would really recommend, if the first mode is not working, try different modes and see which mode fits the best. Oh, this mode looks really weird. Translation. Let's check the translation and stabilize again. This is giving that warpy look, so I would just stick to perspective, maybe cropping ratio a little bit less, maybe smooth a little bit less. So yeah, that's how you can use stabilization. So like stabilization is the thing which is not the best in DaVinci. The only thing, I've heard that in Final Cut Pro it's much better, in Premiere Pro it's much better. So real time and scaling I'm gonna show you in the coming section because it's a little bit complicated and it's not really applicable now. Later on I would be editing an entire sequence with you, so then I would be doing real time and scaling. And super scale, I'm assuming that this is for the Pro version, the studio version. So everything what is in the studio version I would be teaching you in the upcoming section. So yeah, that was it for the inspector tab in the video. But let's do inspector tab in the audio. So here you can change the volume. And if I change the volume, you can see that something is changing here. So if I just zoom in the audio track, if I change the volume, you can see, oh, this audio track is selected, sorry. So you have to select the audio track where you want to be changed. So you can see that if I go all the way down, the graph is gone. If I go all the way up, the graph is like that. And what you can also do, instead of changing from here, you can come to the audio track here. And as soon as you go to this white line, the cursor changes to this up and down arrow. And if you just hold and drag it up and down, you can see that you can change the volume, and you can also see the decibel numbers, that how much decibel you want to increase or reduce. So that's also really handy. Let's move to the pan. So pan is, you can pan the audio on the left speaker or on the right speaker. I don't really use it. This dialogue leveler, I'm going to talk about this and equalizer in the upcoming section. And there's a lot of hidden features as well, but that's just for the studio version. So yeah, that was the inspector tab for audio and video. So now that we have learned a thing or two about editing in DaVinci Resolve, now it's time to make a sequence. So what do I mean by sequence is that we're gonna put some nice videos, some audio from that video, some voiceover, some music together to make a little movie, like, yeah, movie, 30-second or 40-second movie. And while doing that, I would also explain you and show you new tools, what you can implement in your editing process. So here what you can do is that you would find all the footage for this sequence in the Sony Vlog folder. And if I just click back to master, then you find in drone folder as well. And you would also find something nice, not nice, something extra in the extra folder. And for music, we are going to be using a music to use. That's the music we're going to be using, but I've also provided some other non-copyrighted music that you can use. So it's really up to you. So yeah, everything what we going to be talking about, it's there in the media tab, in the media folder, if you have imported everything. We're going to be starting with the first clip, and the first clip is here. So as I told, in and out. So what I usually do is that I just drag the clip on the timeline, zoom in, and as we already discussed, it's there. So I would press B for this mode, the trim edit mode, and then I press Q. So here, the clip goes away from the front, and I think the end is already trimmed, so I would press W as well to trim it a little bit more. And let's listen in.
And now let's start the most beautiful hike in Switzerland.
So this is just an intro. I'm just making a kind of an intro for my YouTube video, and we would also do maybe 10 seconds after that intro. So yeah, let's go. Just as soon as she tells that now let's start the beautiful hike, I want a music to come in. And the music, you see, now it's so annoying because I cannot go to the other folders. I would just click here. So the folders are there, but then I also want to see two videos next to each other. So I would just increase the size of this. You can also reduce the size of these thumbnails, so it's really up to you. We go to music, and I'm gonna choose the music to use. And I would maybe put it here. I'm still in this trim edit mode, so I would go to V because I can see that my cursor is gone, so I would press V. So let's go.
And now let's start the most beautiful hike in Switzerland.
So also good part about music track is that you can already listen to the music here. You can see the waveforms here. And then according to that, you can bring it to the timeline. So what I usually do is that I can see that there's a beat drop here and it starts, there is something cool starting from there. So you can also just click and drag through the timeline. So timeline of the music. So I have just clicked music to use, and music to use is displayed here. So if I just go play, I want this music track to be played from here, but I want to go a bit more further. So what I would do is that I would just press the in point from here, and the out point I'm not going to choose. So I would delete this, what I've already brought to the timeline. And I can just drag this music track in the second track. So now it's only bringing the part what is selected here. So let's click on the timeline for the timeline view. If I zoom in with S, yeah, so the whole idea is that I'm gonna be, or wait, I would put the music in the third track. So now I can reduce the size of the music. I'll tell you later why am I doing this. But yeah, let's just listen.
And now let's start the most beautiful hike in Switzerland.
So I want this music track to be starting from here. So let's just bring it like that and then go to here.
Hike in Switzerland.
So now what's happening is that this music is coming a little bit too abrupt. So what I'm gonna do, I'm going to just increase the track length here, and then I would, you see this this white little dot kind of thing. So if you just drag it, now the music comes in a bit smoothly.
Switzerland.
And there is also a little dot in the middle, so you can change the, like you can go a bit more precise of how the music comes in. So I want at least this beat in the video.
In Switzerland.
So I think this helps. Now, I personally think that the loudness of the audio was okay, but the loudness of the music is a bit too much. So I can reduce the loudness of the music. So if you just scroll around, because now you cannot see this white line, but if you just scroll around, you can see the cursor changing and you can just grab that. So now the music is at 0.00 decibels. So if I go maybe 7, you just have to hit and trial. So let's go now.
The most beautiful hike in Switzerland.
So that looks good. So that's how you can insert music. And if you want to go a bit more precise, if there was some other person talking, you can have also faded out the audio track from the main video. So now we're gonna put some drone shot here. So let's go to the drone folder, and I think I like this. I don't know which part to select, so I just usually drag it on the timeline. But I think it's going really slow. So maybe I would just grab from here, and then I just press on the clip and press Q. So now what also happens is that if I go to the, the trim mode, which is B, press B, so this is selected. And now if I click Q, it goes that way. But if something is linked, if this audio is linked to the video, then that's a problem. But if you just crop it like that, it's fine. But I think the speed of this clip is really slow, so I would increase it. So how do you increase the speed of the clip? First, I would go to the normal cursor mode by pressing V. You press right click, change clip speed, and now you can do maybe 300, I think. With the audio track, I can already see that there's a little beat here, so I would cut the clip at this beat. So I would just press W. So that's going to trim everything from the right hand side. And then I would put another drone shot, maybe just this one, maybe from here. It's also a bit slow, so if I want to put the same speed from this clip to the other clip, now we are moving a little bit fast, but if I want to just put the same speed from the first clip to the next clip, I don't have to go right click, change the speed, put 300 again. What I can do is that I can do right click, copy, yeah, and then if I go right click here again, I can go paste attributes. Once I do paste attributes, you have these different attributes from the first video. So everything what you change in the first video, that can be changed in the second video if you just do paste attributes. So if I go real-time effects, that would change the speed of the drone. So you see what I did was paste attribute. But to make it easier, what you can also do, you can do Command C on the first clip or Control C in Windows, that is copy, and then you go on the second clip and you press Option V or Alt V on Windows, and then already the paste attribute window opens up. So you see how easy it is. Control C, Command C, Alt-V on the other clip, and here you go. So the speed of the clip comes in real-time effect category. But if you have to paste any other attributes, say zoom, position, that you can do as well. We're gonna do it in the future video, so let's go. So why the clip trimmed out? Because there was not much room left, because the clip was a little bit small, so I want to make it a little bit bigger. So here what I also want to do, so now I previously told you about the clip attributes. Now I want to show you another property. So whatever I'm teaching now, it might get a little bit complicated, so I would really recommend you to rewatch it again and again. Now I want to show you a little bit of keyframing. What is keyframing? First of all, let me discuss about that. Keyframing is something where you save the position of certain things or certain properties of a video or an audio at certain location. For example, if I zoom in this entire clip, it's gonna zoom in at all the places. But what I want to do is that I want the zoom to be at 1.000 at this position, but towards the end of the clip, I want the zoom to be 1.200. But if I go in the beginning is also 1.200. So how do you fix that? You do keyframing. Let's reset that. So how do you do keyframing is there is a diamond next to everything. Yeah? Zoom, position, crop, everything you see, there is a diamond next to it. So that all those things can be keyframes. So if I just press this diamond, which means, and if I just open a diamond here under the clip, which means that we have a keyframe set there. So the zoom property of this clip at this position is 1. But if I go towards the end, then I want to change the zoom to maybe 1.110. So now what's going to happen if I go to the beginning to the end, the image would slowly zoom in. And you can also keep an eye on the image here and the zoom level there. So you can see that both of them are changing. It's not that subtle in the video because it just looks like the motion of the drone. So that's really cool. You can also do it in a lot of static shots. So I can show you again with another video here. You know, we're just walking, so it's like a tripod shot. I put the tripod there. So I want the clip from here towards the end there. So I've selected in and out. Now I press U, the clip comes in the end. Pressed U, the clip came in the end. So here I want to do copy and paste properties. So I go Command C, which is the copy, and then I go Alt or Option V. But now I don't want to change the speed because I don't want it to be 300. So I unselect real time. I just want the zoom, you know, and or if I had position or other things, then I would do that. I just want the zoom property to be copied from the drone shot. And then you go apply. Then I'll show you also one more thing is happening here. You see there is a slight zoom, but if I press this diamond, the zoom is only until here. So this clip was 1.002 here, but here it's at 110 because the timeline of this clip was just until here and it is copying the same property until here. So what you can do is that you can either elongate this diamond until the end. So it's gonna be, the zoom wouldn't be subtle, but if you see the edges, there is a bit of zoom. But I don't want the clip to be that long, so I would just, you know, bring the diamond here somewhere, and then I would just press W, so it's just gonna chop off. But you see now the link was not selected, that's why just the video chopped up. So what I'm gonna do, Control Z, I would select the link. So now the video and the audio both gets chopped up. But the problem is now our music also gets chopped up with the link. That's why I turned it off. So that's the pros and cons of using the link button here. I think it's really handy if you are, you know, just trimming the clips without any music track or something on the top. So now to fix this, what I would be doing is that I would just select that, the audio and the video track, or if there was anything else to be chopped up from the right, then I would press W. Now let's see. So by doing keyframing, now what we also did was we brought a little bit of movement in a static frame. You see how nice it looks. So you can leave the diamond or take it out, it's really up to you. And let's put some other clip here, maybe when she's pointing there.
All that. It's like if you see it, you can the hut we slept. There's the hut we slept. So we walked all.
So here I don't want the audio, so I just want the video. So I would just drag the video part, drag it here. I don't know if I would want the zoom or maybe a little zoom. And here I would also keyframe the position because I want the zoom to be towards her. So the zoom and the position are set here, but if I go here and if I zoom in, it's zooming in more towards the center, but I want to zoom in towards her. So let's see how it looks. There's a little bit of problem in stabilization, so let's try to fix it with stabilization. Yeah, stabilization is here, so I'll just press it and let's see what happens. You see how smooth this looks? So yeah, that's how you can also do some keyframing. So now what I'm gonna do is that we have some sequence just put next to each other. Now I'm gonna introduce some voiceover. So voiceover was in extras, I think. Yeah, extra voiceover. So there's also an intro for my YouTube. So maybe I want the voiceover to start from here. I can just change the clip of the voiceover so that I know that that's a different audio from the camera clips. So you can also change the color, you know, to anything. So I would go right click, keep clip color change. I would just go apricot. I always use this color for the voiceover in any video. So now let's listen to it.
Welcome to the breathtaking Swiss Alps in the Appenzell region. Today we are hiking.
So I'm saying something in the background, but I think the music is too loud. So there is one way to reduce the music just when I'm talking. So if I go zoom in and if I just scroll over, I can see the arrow up and down. And here I would press Option and click on this line. And you can do Alt and click on this line. And here I would go Option again, press the Option first, and then click on this line. So now we have another kind of keyframe sort of thing. And here you can reduce the audio. So here our audio was minus 7.8 decibels. And you can see the graph going down. So here we can put it to 21.23 decibels.
Welcome to the breathtaking Swiss Alps in the Appenzell region. Today we are hiking one of the most beautiful.
I found that this audio was a little bit distracting, so I'm going to reduce the volume of this audio.
Welcome to the breathtaking Swiss Alps in the Appenzell region. Today we are hiking one of the most beautiful trails to the Schaffler Hut.
So when I say Schaffler Hut, then I want the drone shot of the hut. Maybe I'll go here. And this drone shot looks a little bit desaturated, but I'm gonna show you how to fix it in the color grading tab.
To the breathtaking Swiss Alps in the Appenzell region. Today we are hiking one of the most beautiful trails to the Schaffler Hut. We'll spend the night at the hut and hopefully enjoy the views of the Altenab Towers, which is literally.
So here I'm doing a little gap of the Altenab Tower. So I want to reduce the gap. So I would just cut it, just zoom in all the way. I can already see that there was a little gap here. I just delete with X. You can also delete with X instead of backspace and then drag it a little bit forward. Let's listen again.
And hopefully enjoy the views of the Altenab Towers, which is literally right next to the hut. And because the hike is around.
So as you can see, if you see the waveform, if I just go shift up and down, sometimes it's a bit low, the graph, and sometimes it's a bit too high. So how you can fix it is you can do some keyframing. So we go Option or Alt, press the mouse button, Option, Alt, press the mouse button, two dots here, Option Alt, Option Alt. So if I just want to increase the audio of this area, I have put 4 dots, and then if you just drag it like that, then you can see that the waveforms from this part is kind of similar to the waveforms here.
The breathtaking Swiss Alps in the Appenzell region.
I think maybe it's a bit too loud. Let's go down.
Alps in the Appenzell region. Today we are hiking one of the most beautiful trails to the...
So here the audio is still going up and down. So there is a newly added feature in DaVinci Resolve where the software itself kind of brings the audio up or down according to what you choose. So that eliminates all these steps, but that's not super accurate, but I'm still gonna show you. So if you go to dialog, if you just click the audio here, you know, the audio tab, and then the audio in inspector opens up, you go to dialog leveler, you turn it on and reduce loud dialogue. So we don't want to reduce the loud dialogue, we want to lift up the softer ones. Yeah, and then we don't want to reduce the background noise because there's none. And then output gain for this soft dialogue, I want to increase a little bit. So let's listen to it now and see if it actually is any good.
Today we are hiking one of the most beautiful trails to the Schaffler Hut. We'll spend the night at the hut and hopefully enjoy the views of the Altenab Towers, which is literally...
Yeah, I don't think it's doing much. Let's go optimize moderate level. So let's try that.
Today we are hiking one of the most beautiful trails to the Schaffler Hut. We'll spend the night at the hut and hopefully enjoy the views of the Altenab Towers, which...
This I can keep it, I can just delete these points and see if it did any good.
Welcome to the breathtaking Swiss Alps in the Appenzell region. Today we are hiking...
Or maybe we can do more left for low levels. Let's try that.
Welcome to the breathtaking Swiss Alps in the Appenzell region. Today we are hiking one of the most beautiful trails.
It is doing there is a little really subtle change. So yeah, I'm gonna try that. So what I want to do is that I want to use the property from here to there to the next clip. So I'm gonna use the dialog leveler. I go Command C, Control C, Option V or Alt V on this. So here I can do all the audio properties because we didn't really change much in the first one. So it's gonna be the same property would be copied on both the clips.
Altenab Towers, which is literally right next to the hut. And because the hike is around...
Where literally what I'm saying is so loud, so let's go C, the blade tool, and then reduce it down.
Which is literally right next to the hut.
So sometimes it can take time, and of course it's not really perfect because they just introduced the dialog leveler, but they are working on it. But sometimes what also happens with dialog leveler is that the audio sometimes this just disappears at some sections. So you really have to just try it out and see how you find it. So yeah, that's how you can add the voiceovers as well. So now we have 3 levels of audio. The first level is from the camera, the second level is the voiceover, and the third level is the music. So this is how you can make an entire section. And that's also the project of this class, is what I discussed before, that you can make a section from this voiceover and put all the beautiful clips, or you can make a section from the clips what you already have in your computer or with you, and edit them in DaVinci Resolve, put some nice music, put some nice transition, what I would show later. But yeah, let's continue this. So I want to show you something else now. So if you go here, to audio 3 and click here, like click on the audio, as soon as I click here in the inspector audio section, this window comes up. So here you can do the dialog leveler for the entire track because I selected the audio 3 track. Here you can do the dialog leveler for everything, or you can just do individual dialog leveler. I would recommend to do the individual dialog leveler at the moment, but I want to show you something else. There's a thing I would just deselected, this thing called Ducker. So what Ducker does is that whatever we have done here, reduce the volume of the music when I'm doing a voiceover, apparently Ducker can do it without you reducing the volume. So let's try that out. So if I go here, press audio 3, go to Ducker, and which audio Ducker needs to focus on, which is the source audio, is the audio 2, because that's where the voiceover is. Yeah, and you can change the docking level. And let's see if it reduces by itself, because now I deleted all the dots here. So let's see.
Welcome to the breathtaking Swiss Alps in the...
Not really. Let's put it down a bit more.
Welcome to the breathtaking Swiss Alps.
It's a little bit subtle. I can do maybe just change a little bit recovery time. You can play around with these tools, and I think the rise time we should just go all the way low.
Welcome to the...
Or maybe just increase the rise time.
Welcome to the breath.
So now it's not a bit subtle, but it's like already it's reducing super far away from the clip.
Welcome to the breathtaking Swiss Alps.
So I think this setting looks good, but yeah, it's like these are some new tools in DaVinci, and they're not that perfect, but they're getting really better. So if you just copy paste this setting from advanced, that can reduce the dialogue a little bit. Let's see in the end what happens. So as soon as I stop talking, then let's see if the music track volume also goes up or not.
You are in this area.
It's working pretty good. So yeah, if you want to try that out, try it out. And if you're not satisfied with it, I have already taught you how to do it manually. So yeah, if you just keep doing these clips, just adding them together, that's how you can make a sequence. But now, in the upcoming section, I'm gonna show you a bit more advanced method of editing, where I would be introducing transitions and text and all this sort of stuff. So let's go.